Hi everyone, and you are welcome to this lecture, os.path module. In this lecture, I'm going to define what os.path module is. We will learn about some useful os.path functions, and I will end up this lecture by a quick summary. So let's get started. First of all, let's start by defining what os.path module is. Simply, it's a module to manipulate paths in the operating system. I mean by that, for example, extracting a file extension from a file path, extracting a file name from a file path, and so on. And this is quite important for a lot of projects that you are going to see in your practical life. Let's move directly to PyCharm IDE to see some examples about os.path module. The first thing that I want to mention that os.path, it's a module within the package OS. The difference between module and package will be covered in a future lecture. Now let's say that if you want to use os.path, you have to import os first. Now let me assume that I have the following path, and from this path I want to extract only the file name. In order to do that, you have to use the function os.path.pathName, and then you have to pass the path. After that, I will print the file name and run. As you see, I got dummy text. So what if I want to extract only the first part of the path, which means the directory? In this case, instead of base name, you have to say dir name. And now if I run, you will see the result is everything except the file name. Sometimes I want to extract both parts from the path. So you can use these two functions individually, or you can use the function split. And now because I expect to get two things, which mean the directory and the file name, then I will say dir name, file name. I use two variables here because this function returns two values. Now I will print the file name and also I will print the directory name. Run. As you see here, I got dummy.txt, which is the file name, and the directory name is from C to test. Also, in some use cases, you could need to extract only the extension as a part and the remaining of the path as another part. In this case, instead of using split, you have to use split-ext, which means extension. So now I will get dir name, but now instead of file name, let me say file extension. And I will print, run. As you see here, I got .txt, which is the file extension, and the remaining of the path in the other variable, which is dir name. Sometimes I need to know if the provided path is available inside my system or not. So for example, let me assume that I have the following path, which is rc users samir desktop test. And let me come to here. You will see that this path is available. I will remove this now, and I will use the function os.path.isDir. IsDir is a function that will take the path and will give me true or false according to the directory if it's available or not. So if I print the result, as you see here, I got true because inside my operating system, there is a folder, it's named test. Let me say now, after test, I will put folder, for example, and run. The result now is false. Why false? Because I don't have a folder, its name folder inside test folder, but I have folder 222. If I run, you will see that I got true. And is there for directory? So normally we should have another function for files. So let me now replace this by the word dummy.txt, and instead of isDir, I will say isFile. IsFile is a function that takes one parameter, which is path, and it will return true or false. True if the file is available, otherwise false. If I run, I got false. Why false? If I go to the directory, you will see that within the folder test, there is no file, it's named dummy.txt. Now let me create this file. I will say it's a text file, its name dummy. If I come back now to my program and run, you will see directly that it becomes true. Why true? Because now we have a file, it's named dummy.txt within my folder test. The last function that I want to talk about, which is quite important to learn about, is os.path.join. In a lot of use cases, I will receive paths as variables. So I'm not sure if within this path we have backslash or slash. So if I want to combine the two parts of the path together, I am very confused what to use, backslash or slash, because this is quite depend on the operating system. Another problem that even if you know that, for example, I'm using Windows, but if I want to run my program in another platform like Linux, for example, in Windows I use backslash, in Linux we use slash, so the program will not work properly. Now, the solution to combine two path parts, like the following example. I have file directory, which is the following, file name, which is dummy.txt, and now I want to create the full path. I will say path equal to os.path.join, and here I will say file directory, file name. If I run, as you see here, I will get the new path let me run. As you see here now, I got one path has the two parts, which are file directory and file name. You can use simple string concatenation. It's not a problem if you are sure where you are going to use your program. But if you write your program in a platform and you are going to deploy it in another platform, the safer solution is to use os.path.join. And that's all for this code session. Now let's recap what we have learned in this lecture. First of all, os.path module has been defined as a module to manipulate paths in operating system, and as we see, it's full of functions allowed me to extract any part of the path that I want. Now please refer to the file os.path module appendix, in which you will find all the functions that have been covered in this lecture have been summarized. Also refer to the file os.path module challenges, in which you will find some exercises to practice what you have learned in this lecture. Thank you very much for your time, and if you are available, join me in the next lecture.